Hi everyone, and welcome back to Decisive Squirrel Homestead. It is June 19th. I've gotten really good at checking the date, and it is hot. It's normal for us to have triple digit temperatures here in Texas, but this is a little too early for it, and we've had a lot of them. It's been really, really hot here. So the garden isn't doing quite as well as I hoped at this point in the year, but thankfully we planted early. So it's doing pretty good. We've gotten a lot of food out of it, and now we are working against the heat and the bugs. So we just got back from vacation. Let's take a look around the garden. So we were gone for just under a week. We left our oldest child at home to hold down the fort, but summer school is going on. That child is in college, so things get a little hectic and busy, and we didn't want to leave too much garden work. So most of the garden was on a timer to make sure it got watered, and that's about all that happened over the last week. So we came home and we were pleasantly surprised to find our loofahs have gotten huge. They're growing really well, and there are a lot of blooms on the plants. There is another female bloom open today, I saw, so we should get at least some loofah, so that's exciting. That's the first year that we've really been serious about trying loofahs, and this is working out for us. Over here in the main garden, things are pretty overgrown. Josh is back there pulling some weeds that have creeped in from the edge. We just got finished going through our row of purple whole peas here. We did can purple whole peas right before we left, and then we came back and there are just so many bugs on these plants that we debated whether to pull them out, give it a week or two of a break, and then plant some more. But we decided to pick every single pea pod that was on the plant. So even if they weren't ready or if they were dry, we picked everything off. And I think we're gonna go ahead and get some neem oil and spray here and see if we can knock down this bug population a little bit and see how they do. But the plants are really well established, so we didn't want to totally pull them out. There's a lot of blooms in here, so I think if we just get the bugs under control, we'll get plenty more purple whole peas out of these plants. Peppers over on the left side are doing great. Cucumbers have crawled all the way up to the top of the arch. Cucumbers did not get picked while we were gone, it looks like, so there are some that are way too big hiding back in there. We need to go through and pull all of those off as well. The exciting thing is this watermelon plant that we didn't plant grew a whole watermelon while we were gone. So there's a nice good sized watermelon down here, and I see some purple whole peas I missed. So this is exciting. Watermelons have been hit and miss for us in the past. Last year they didn't do so great. Like I said, we didn't plant this one. It just came up from, I guess, fruit that dropped last year in this area. So we just let it go, and we'll see what happens with it. We haven't really done any care or pruning or anything. It's one plant, and it's come out on the left side of this bed and then also crossed over to the other side there. But that's the only watermelon that's on it, which is probably a good thing. They can't support too many fruit at once. Tomatoes are looking pretty rough. They also have a lot of leaf-footed bugs. That's what really gets us with tomatoes around here. I think it's too hot to set fruit, really. I see a couple of tiny ones. But this is about the time of year when we usually start thinking about pulling out tomato plants. We can plant a second crop around here. We can plant a whole nother round of tomatoes in the fall, but I think we might try to leave these over the summer and see if we can just nurse the plants along and get them to fruit again in the fall. We'll see how that goes. Peppers on this side are also doing pretty good. I'm seeing some fruit that needs to be thinned out, a little bit of sun scald, nothing major. Those are all doing well. Our edamame on the side over here really needs to be pulled out, and there are some weeds that need to be picked out of this bed. And then these are green beans over on the far side, and it looks like we could have green beans for dinner. Looks like there's some to pull there, and there are also some new flowers, so that's good. My pumpkins were a disaster this year. None of my pumpkin plants did good, and I planted a ton because we had all of that free seed. But I put in some new pumpkin seed in these beds, I think just a week ago, I think right before we left, and they've come up and they're looking pretty good, so maybe that will work out. We'll see. berries along the fence. The plants are happy, but the weeds are also happy. That's something else we're gonna have to get on today. We got home yesterday and didn't even unpack. We came straight out to the garden and started working, but it's so hot here, guys. It's hard to stay out here for very long. You have to keep going inside to cool off and get some water. So it's a process. Our corn and pumpkin patch over here was on a water timer, but it looks like the water sprinkler we set up didn't quite get this farthest corner, so these corn plants are looking a little rough. I doubt we're actually going to get any ears of corn off these few plants in the corner. The pumpkins have all died. That was expected. They were on their way out before we left. But over here in the main part of the corn patch, the plants are looking good, and I think we're getting close to picking corn. So that's exciting. We did pick one ear last week. It was too early. We had a feeling it was too early, but we just couldn't help ourselves. We had to check it out, and it was looking really good. So I think some of these ears are ready. We might have green beans and corn today. Over here in the far corner, we have our strawberry popcorn that we're letting kind of dry out here before we pick, but it is also looking good. We've got a bunch of little ears going here that look like they filled out pretty good. So that is just a real quick update of what's going on in our garden. There are plants that we tried to plant around our little wooded area that just didn't do much of anything at all. The soil is apparently just not any good. So we're going to be working on improving that through the rest of this year and see if we can get more garden space going for next year. I hope your gardens are going well and it's not too hot where you are, and you're also not where you're getting too much rain or not enough rain. Wish you good weather wherever you are and hope you're enjoying your summer. We'll see y'all later. Bye.